Hello and welcome to the Futro Hidden Movie Gems podcast. I'm your host, Kai Spiker Christensen. You may notice something different about me. This is not a quote from the movie, but I look so great. I have an amazing brother who's spending all this money on me to get fancy lights and fancy microphones. So, guys, get yourself a brother who really cares about quality and is OCD about this stuff, and they'll give you free gifts, like a free recording studio in my basement. It's amazing.
And soon you'll have a tapestry in the background. So
And I'll have a tapestries. Anyway, today, let's get my quote. You guys are triggering me. That's why I can't talk to you about all my problems. I don't know if that's actually the quote, but I remember hearing that over and over. Oh, and anyway, I'll get into that in nitpicks. And we've got Cameron Mickle on the pod.
The best defense is a good offense.
Could you explain to me what you mean by saying that? You keep saying that. What does that mean?
The best defense is a good offense.
Right.
But what does that mean to you?
You're big. I think I need to put myself to bed. And we've got Jordan Christensen on the pod.
You're silencing me.
Gosh. Guys, today we're reviewing Bodies.
Well,
Bodies,
I'll say this one, but I'm
Bodies.
going to edit it out. But I look like
I mean, I look like that. Yeah, exactly. This movie just reminded me that Hollywood has really figured out what to do with Pete Davidson, and that's keep making him the butt end of the joke, just killing him off in all of his movies.
Yeah.
It's really sad but funny. So they figured it out.
Oh, you're talking about Suicide Squad, right?
Yes, the other Pete Davidson movie where, again, I thought he had the most punchable face, and then I watched King of Staten Island. I'm like, I think I get Pete Davidson a little bit more now.
Yeah, that was a great one.
But yeah, I remember seeing the trailer for this before I had even seen King of Staten Island, and I remember thinking like, oh gosh, it's a Pete Davidson vehicle. No thanks. But dude, so maybe he's like the most likable person of all time if he's dating, I don't know, Queen Elizabeth and Kim Kardashian. Oh wait, maybe it wasn't Elizabeth.
No, that
Maybe
just
she
means
died.
he's
Yeah. Must be. I look like him. Oh gosh, dude. Gosh, guys, what was it like watching this movie for the first time? Well, I guess you say just a little bit about it. It came out in 2022. It was directed by Helena Rage.
Should I mention too that I've been trying to recommend it to you guys, and then Ty watches it on Red Letter Media? Oh, they recommended it. I'll watch it now.
Yeah, I only get all my opinions from them, dude. No, it's funny that you say that because there are movies in my head. Like I still need to see Menu. Spoiler alert, I haven't finished the Menu, and I don't know where to get it. I'm like, where do I watch this movie? And I'm like, oh, Jordan owns Bodies, so I definitely wanted to watch it. But after they started talking about it, I was like, whoa, no spoilers, because I am going to watch it blind. Because I saw one trailer in the movie theater. I don't remember what movie it was for, but I remember thinking like, oh boy. Because in the trailer, they put in the lines, and I didn't know that they were necessarily like not going to be driving those points home. Because like it sounded very real. Like a lot of the stuff the girls were saying were eye rolls, but I was like, oh, like this is how they would talk to each other at this age they are. Like this Gen Z, or Cameron, you can confirm, right? This is the way this is the new speak. The girls talk, at least Gen Zers. I thought it was
this is what a sorority house is.
Yeah.
The IQ of a sorority house all combined into one movie.
Yeah. And what's the plot here? Summary says, when a group of rich 20-somethings plan a hurricane party at a remote family mansion, a party game turns deadly in this fresh and funny look at backstabbing, fake friends, and one party gone very, very wrong.
Yes.
So, oh yeah, what did it say? Fake friends and real enemies or something? Where did I see that? That made me laugh when I saw that.
All I can say is I don't know if they just couldn't afford Pete Davidson, but he died too early. Spoiler alert.
Okay, we're gonna get right into spoilers. I have something I wanted to say about that. I remember thinking when Pete Davidson dies, I was like, oh, it'd be great if he comes back. I literally said this in my head. Like, I was like,
yeah,
it'd be great if he comes back and he's like ends up being the killer. And not exactly did that happen, but his reveal at the end was great. He was the killer. He started, he was the self-killer.
So you weren't wrong.
It wasn't wrong. Yeah, I literally was like, oh, he comes back if he's the killer. So I guess I technically was right, but it definitely wasn't the way I imagined, and it was even funnier than I hoped. I thought it was great.
Oh yeah. Oh, that was the line I wish I had said. Just like, We have Wi-Fi.
I got signal. Yeah. I didn't understand that
signal.
either. I was like, wait, like they're completely nonplussed about all the dead bodies everywhere. They're like, oh, I got Wi-Fi back. I don't know. That's just really funny.
It reminds me of those commercials they had, when the Wi-Fi dies and the city panics and goes crazy.
Well, I don't know about commercials. I do know that Mitchell's versus the Machines
did
had
that as well.
Yeah. Everyone's freaking out.
Yeah, there are commercials
Pandemonium.
that do that, and it's really clever.
Commercials that do that? What are
Yeah.
they? Or like Spectrum Internet or something? Or
Yeah, and
Oh,
it's just like it's like a world without internet, and it's just like people like killing each other, and like they're holding up like a staff with like a skull on it.
I know it's like laughable now, but I'm like, yeah, without the internet, I think people would be like going outside. They'd be like,
well, it's like these kids. Like, what happened to them when they don't have their phones?
yeah.
I guess it was technically his phone though that did him in. He was like swinging that sword. I've actually seen a video with a kid like playing with knives and he stabs himself and he's like screaming.
Nice.
Yeah.
Dude, what was it like watching this movie for the first time, rewatching for the podcast, Jordan?
So yeah, I saw this in the theater and then I was recommending it to everybody because I really enjoyed it.
What was it that called you to it, like in the theater? Because like this doesn't really seem like, well, I'd say it doesn't seem like a Jordan movie, but maybe it is. I don't know. You're like, are you on the Pete Davidson train at the time?
No,
or,
A24.
A24.
They haven't had any like real misses. Like
The
some
Green
maybe
Knight-
that
the Green Knight. Let me
okay,
remind
but
you.
like there's still
Yeah.
something to enjoy about
It's
that.
still going for it. Yeah.
Yeah, and at least the visuals were good. Like, I mean, sure.
And it's an original movie. I mean,
Yeah.
they have some horror movie cliches, but
Originally
it is still like
stupid. Holy.
You're referring to Pete Davidson. That's totally called for.
But
uh,
no, I was just looking to have a good time, and that's what I did. It was just kind of like fun, turn your brain off kind of movie.
It's drool.
I mean, it's kind of sort of in the realm of horror. Not really. It's more comedy, but like, I just like murder mysteries. Kind of.
I think
shoot.
thriller is probably the right term,
Yeah.
right? Who done it? Oh, I thought about that because I actually called it a horror in my phone, and then I was writing notes about it, and I was like, didn't scare me once, but like I still liked it, and so I put thriller. Yeah,
it's like a modern day Scream, sort of like just
yep, totally. It's so funny you said that because I put Scream meets what did I put? Clue, yes.
Kind of fits like
I
Clue,
literally was gonna say the board game.
I just thought it was
board game. Yeah,
I thought it was Glass Onion done better.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That I was gonna say is like this was still more enjoyable. Like all my criticism, I was gonna say after nitpicks, I was like, at least it was more enjoyable than the Glass Onion, and it was better than Smile, and it was definitely better than Menthregan. So anyway.
Wait, Cameron, I'm curious. When you were watching it, were you just like, oh, I think it's this person? I love they just make so many people seem suspicious, like especially the military guy when he's like howling and acting like a dog.
Just because Greg didn't kill Pete doesn't mean that hasn't killed other people before. That dude is a killer.
Hey, whoa! He's
Cameron,
a veterinarian.
Veterinarian.
He's not a vet.
I'm aware he's a
from
veterinarian.
Afghanistan. He's a
still
veteran assistant.
Who circles a place on the map and has like all of that, dude? Sketch.
Dude, isn't he a mountaineer? Like I thought he like hiked. He's like, why do you call him G.I. Joe? I don't know. Have you seen him?
Oh, I love her. She is so funny.
Yeah, this is great.
And I love when she's like kind of trapped herself in a corner, like she can't talk bad about her friend, and so she's like,
Alice is an idiot.
Help me out here. I love it. It's just
they're all just black men. I love it.
Yeah.
You know what's really funny about this? Like it felt very visceral, like real. Because I was like, yeah, like gosh, all the childish things in life. Like this was way too much like high school. Like hearing this stuff, and I know they're like 20 somethings. They're supposed to be in college, but it's like, yeah, that 20-year-old like. I don't know. What's the most important thing? Get together. Oh, like I said on the group chat, like I was coming. You're like, no, you never texted the group chat. Like we know, we have the receipts. Like we can check our group chat, and you in fact did not message us. It's so infuriating. We all know those people, and I've been guilty of it too. Where you show up late, or you just show up unannounced, or
don't show up at all,
or don't show up at all. Yeah. Jordan, what was it? Alice or no? Who does the podcast? Was it Alice's
Alice?
character?
Yeah.
Or is it
podcasting's really hard?
Podcasting's really hard. Dude, that made me laugh. I was thinking, I was like, dude, we need to clip that. That's you, Jordan, complaining early days when you would spend so much time editing
Oh
the
my
podcast,
gosh.
and you're like, she's like, why are you rolling your eyes? You hate listen.
Why did you just groan?
You hate listen to the podcast. It was so funny. It was great. It's like very real, you know.
Yeah.
And I like it, like, because to me, what I liked about real quick, Cameron, what about you? What was it like watching it for the first time, and if you
Jordan, did
rewatched
you
it?
finish what it was like rewatching?
Yeah, I was worried because I'd seen it not too long ago, rewatching it. And at first I was kind of like, okay. And then as soon as you
Yeah,
get into it, like, the lighting, everything. I guess we'll get into my favorite things eventually, but I feel like it was still done really well. And it's a very enjoyable film. So I was surprised that I enjoyed it just as much on rewatch.
yeah. I think it's a movie I want to show other people. Like, I'll have Maddie watch it, and then other folks too. Like, it's funny. I don't know. Like, it's not too scary.
And
Yeah.
you're gonna pause it on the scenes.
Yes, yes. In fact, I'll be like, "Hey, are you a bigot? This is beautiful.
I know. I was like,
This is a piece of
oh,
art."
I was like, I am not a fan of PDA in general. This is just over the top. Please stop.
I
Yeah.
like it's the opening shot. It was like, "Oh,
I know. I was
tell
like,
me more."
oh.
Why did Jordan recommend this movie again? No, it's great. No, yeah, it's great. Don't say anything bad about that. All right.
I think no one should be able to show PDA in public. I think it should be a crime punishable by castration.
I have questions about this movie too, and you guys probably can explain it to me. So, Cameron, any other observations from your first time watching?
I haven't said anything, but
You said
Anymore?
enough. Well, I thought you said the stuff. I thought that was the thing. I don't know.
that was my entire experience.
Yeah, he's like, I stopped watching it after 2 minutes.
I don't know what happened the rest of the movie. No,
Love
it
2
definitely
minutes
was
of
not what I went in not knowing anything, was not at all what I was expecting. I don't really know what I was expecting. I just definitely wasn't expecting like a kind of a clue thriller. Um, I was pleasantly surprised at many parts. Um, but at the same time, I was very bummed because I feel like the two best characters died off in the first 30 minutes, and so I was like,
Yeah.
So, who
I'm
are the
like,
best two characters,
I'm like,
Greg and
I'll just get into that in a little. I'm like, can everyone? Can I'm like, at like halfway through the movie, I'm like, if everyone doesn't die, this movie sucks.
I know. I was actually kind of hoping the last two would just kill each other.
Yeah, me too.
yes. Well, actually, I had one thing I wanted to say about that too. I wish that one of them had drowned
But
in the pool. Personally,
Yes, I would have really liked that.
I
That would have
wanted
been a
one
great
last
ending.
scene where they were
Yeah.
fighting because they didn't trust each other, right? Like
Yes.
maybe they're because they teased it. They're like, "How well do you?" Because they did it several times where they did the box, Cameron Diaz movie. How well do you actually know your husband? Like they play on relationships. They're like, "How long have you been seeing each other?" For like 2 months. And it's like, how well do you really know someone after 2
Yeah,
months?
Alice is like,
It's a weird
we've been
thought.
together a long time.
A long time.
How long?
Like
2 weeks?
2 weeks.
that might be a
But-
long time for that chick, man.
But yeah, but B and Sophie had been together for what was it? They teased it like 6 weeks, right? Or maybe 2 months, something like that. But it's a really interesting thought experiment where you're like, yeah, like when you're dating someone, how quickly do you get past most of the barriers that like, oh, I know this person. It's like you don't even know his middle name. It's like, well, you don't ask each other for a middle name. And it's true. It's almost like one
Bro,
of those
you
things
don't
where
know
you're
a
like,
person
yeah,
until they start farting around you. So
it is funny though. There's like a threshold, right? And I'm sure for some people they hit faster than others, but it is a weird thought, experiment. Like I said, just thinking like, yeah, how well before you'd be like, I'm confident this person wouldn't kill me or other people, I think.
I'm never confident in anybody.
Which I think is funny. And that's why this movie is really clever. That's why I enjoyed it. It's like you said escape room, right? I don't know why you put that in my head because it's
No, I was talking about that TV show
you're
that we
right,
were
you're right.
talking about.
Okay, you're right,
Yeah,
you're right. Okay.
Alice in
I just mixed
Borderland.
I was crossed the wires after I watched the movie. I was like, what part of that was escape room?
No.
So yeah, forget
The
what
black lead.
So let's get into two of your favorite things. Cameron, why don't you start us off? Two of your favorite things.
I won't steal anything that's with the camera work because I know Jordan's probably gonna talk a little bit about that. My first favorite thing. Oh, Well, I really enjoyed the.
Nothing to say about camera work.
I want to talk about the lighting. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean, like the camera
Oh.
work and
Lighting.
shots and how they use it. But I really enjoyed the score. I thought the score was really well done because, like,
Wait, okay. Is
Yeah,
that the
I'm curious,
music?
Cameron. Did you
Oh, I
download that
hated the
music?
music. No, I hated the music. But I mean,
no,
Oh,
yeah. Okay,
but
let me be fair though.
I
Is it
did
the
really
score,
enjoy.
the annoying song that keeps playing, like the or I don't remember what song it was. Some of the songs that were
I'm
playing
bored.
annoyed
The
me.
song
I'm
I'm bored.
No,
bored. I'm so
that song
bored.
is cancer.
Oh, really?
I
I
know,
love it.
yeah. Those songs, like, no, and it's funny you
No,
say it because to be fair, it put me so in that mind space so well. Like it's
Yeah.
music like that you would listen to and you're like, these songs are so mind-numbingly dumb, but you're like, this is like that. Like I listened to crap like that when I was in high school. Not like, but I'd be at parties that would play that. I'd be at who am I kidding? I never went to parties. I'd go to school dances, they'd play music like that, right? Like just mind-numbingly dumb songs about popping pills and partying all night, and it's just like and the most profane club music and it's just
no,
so
the music, a
mind-numbingly
lot of the
dumb.
music, I was just like, oh man, this reminds me of high school. But
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yep.
exactly.
but the score I thought was really well done. Like there was a lot of scenes where the score just made it like very on edge. And usually me and Jordan talk about this a lot. We don't love it sometimes when the
Was
score
there
is
synthesizers? I'm trying to think of the score, right? Because I heard it a few times. I think I know what you're talking about. There were
yeah.
tense moments, and it
Hmm.
sounded like synthesizer, but
Yeah, I'm not
right.
sure what it
I'm not
was,
sure how they made that noise. Yeah, it was really good
but
though.
I thought it was
I
really good
agree.
just because a lot of times I don't like it when it's telling you to feel a certain way, but I think
Joker.
the lighting did a really good job of kind of adding to that, where it's just like, and like with the camera work of a lot of times you're just facing the person and they're holding the flashlight, so you can't really see a whole lot. And so it kind of puts you in their shoes and you're like, man, I don't know what the fudge is going on and like what's around them. So I thought that was really good. Second favorite thing, come on, is Greg, easily, bro. Greg I hated that he died so quick because I wish they would have at least I wish they would have at least hit him on the head and then he would have like come back like pissed off and then like been violent, but like not have been the killer. Just because he's just looks like a mentally unstable man. Oh, you guys
No,
are effing
no,
with me.
slow down,
Oh
slow
my
down.
gosh.
No, dude, I gotta say, I don't think Greg did anything wrong.
Everyone get the
Yeah.
back off.
Well, yeah, they
Yeah.
were
They
surrounding
were
him,
surrounding him with
blaming him for
knives.
murder,
No,
and then
that's
he was like, "Whoa, slow the freak!" And he goes, "Oh, you're messing with me." He gave him so many opportunities to chill the freak out,
and then she hit him over the head with a fetching 20-pound weight.
I know.
right?
I want.
But or attacked him. He put the knife down. She attacks him instantly. He throws her off. And he goes,
Throws
"Are you
both girls.
okay?" He's
Yeah.
like, "You just tried to choke me," and then another girl attacks him. He's being choked, and he's like, "Gosh dang it!" And then he like gets her off of her, and he's like, "Huh," gets a breather, and he sees the knife, and he's like, "That's my only freaking self-defense." Runs for the knife, gets the knife, and he's just like, "Okay." He even tells everyone to disarm themselves, right? He's like, "Put the knife on the ground." Ah! Like,
Yeah, he was like
does yell.
trying to speak as rationally as possible, and they were like,
And he even asked her, he goes, "Are you okay?" After he throws her against the wall, he's like, "Oh my gosh, are you okay?" And then boom, hit on the head.
And
Which I think he looked weird when he
I
got
love that
hit.
he was just
But
being, I don't know. It's just one of those situations where I'm like, he just should never have been there. Like
he's too old. That's my opinion. Yeah, he's
Well,
too old to be hanging at a party
not-
like that. So I do
not only-
agree. That's weird.
not only that, but then he's like getting bullied by Pete Davidson for essentially being with like a girl that I think Pete might have been with in the past, and Pete's just like extremely jealous and just like
I'm not
punches him.
convinced that every single character in this movie has done cocaine with each other and have. I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not entirely convinced that every single one of these people is innocent,
and they
that's
have
why
they have
so
interesting
much.
ways of showing remorse. It's like, I'm mourning my boyfriend, make out with me. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like,
Oh my gosh, what are you doing? You think everyone is attracted
with
to
you?
you?
Yeah.
In love with you?
and everybody's cheating on each other. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I will say though, Jordan's character really annoyed me, and I was like, "Oh, she's got to be the killer." And then
I
like,
totally thought she was
had
the
plenty
killer.
of time with the gun, and I was like, "That was good enough for me," because I definitely despised her character. Good for her. She did a great job.
Yeah.
I'm glad she died a
Harold.
painful death.
Dude getting thrown off the balcony, dude. That
Yeah,
reminded me of
and she
what was
definitely
it?
didn't die on impact, bro. Like after her shooting and
I,
stuff like that.
she's
And
like,
she probably died like in the night, bleeding like
shoot
internally or something.
slowly, yeah. And she's firing out the gun up at them. I thought that was
I
hilarious.
love that
Like,
she probably like didn't even assume that they were killers, but just the fact they threw her over the balcony, she's just trying to murder them. I'm like, good, more power to you, chick. She's just like,
I know, because everyone knows how innocent they are, but like I like how, see, this is the one thing I did like, and then I had one question. So we can get into, I have like a question. I need to ask it before I forget. The lady that's found at the bottom of the stairs, is this another staircase scenario where no one actually killed her? Because she was
Yeah, I
given
was like
drugs.
trying to
I
watch it and figure out, did she
She looked
slip? Did she get
it-
pushed?
gory
what
as fudge. She looked gory as
what
all get
I
out.
as-
But if you watch the staircase, that's exactly what they look like when they die at the bottom of the stairs.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
whether or not you believe the guy in staircase, his previous wife had died at the bottom of the staircase, and his
I
second
know.
wife had also died. What
It just happened to be two
chances of
people in
that?
his life the same way.
But it's like, what happened? It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
you hit your head. It looks like a gory, horrifying mess. But like,
yeah.
am I to understand she just took the drugs that she had, right, and then fell down the stairs because she was doped up with the drugs
That's what I
that.
thought, but I
that's
They
don't.
what the
gave
girl-
her, they
the
made
girl
it a
claimed-
scene where she hands her the bag and she's like, "You want this?" And she's like, "Yes, I want it." Emma's like, "Yes, I want to."
And then she dies.
Yeah.
Yeah, what from what I understood is like
So-
she was kind of doped up, and then the girl, what's her name?
You think she
Sophie
pushed
felt
her?
guilty because she's like, I gave her the drugs that caused her to be so loopy she fell.
Right. So I know that she took like
I don't think
blame or
anyone
felt
pushed her.
responsibility. Yeah,
I
I
don't
was just
think
making sure no
anyone
one
pushed
pushed her
her.
or something. Because, like I said, because she was like gory, it almost looked like she was stabbed several times. But again, I thought Pete Davidson was multiply stabbed, but no, he just simply cut his throat with the stupid machete. Because when he's on the door, it's outside and it's poorly lit, so I'm not even sure what's going on.
Yeah.
He's like banging on the door, and he's clearly like in distress. And you're like, oh, and then they bring in the machete later, and they're like, this bloody machete was outside. So it was like, so they used the machete to kill him. Where's Greg? Why isn't he woken up? And they all assume it's him. And then he's laying there. I was literally like, dude, if the brother's dry, he was completely dry. Why didn't you just assume that he was out in the pouring rain murdering Greg? How could he have been like completely dry at that point?
And also like
his hair completely dry. He's just chilling in the gym. But
and he literally has a cop out and like like a alibi for everything. They're like, why weren't you here? She's like, oh, I have my headphones in. He's probably in a room, like in a silenced room in the basketball. I'm like, he is literally the most innocent, like, and everyone else that like comes late to Greg, they're all like, well, where were you? You took so long. I'm just like, you guys are literally the worst detectives in the world.
Dude, it's great. And you know what's funny about that too? This movie really, it's almost like a depressing movie like Oscar is with Sylvester Stallone. Like it's a comedy of errors, but like it's a dark comedy of errors where people keep killing each other. It's almost like Tucker and Evil versus, or what was it
Yes,
called?
Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I totally thought of that movie.
Yes, that's the other movie.
He's
I
like,
was
we
thinking
got
of,
your
yes.
friend, and they're like, they got her, and they start freaking out and start like,
and they're like innocently like trying to help, and people keep dying around them, and they're like, they think they're these two evil woodsmen from hell, and it's like, it's simply a mystery. Like one guy runs at him with a knife and falls into the wood chipper, and he's trying to save him, and they think he's like pushing him into the wood chipper. So like, it's
it's just
very
funny.
similar and akin to that,
Yeah.
but it's almost played more serious, right? Because it's like, I think we're supposed to take, I mean, like, there's obviously comedic moments, but like, I don't think it's necessarily like a parody. It's not even necessarily over the top. I would say it's like,
It is like poking fun at like
oh, for
horror
sure.
tropes. Yeah. And it's just,
It
it
does.
does the reverse. It's like, well,
Yeah.
imagine if the people all actually watched lots of horror movies and knew like, oh, these are the bad guys.
Right. And even like
except they're
trying
too
to
dumb.
attribute like something more fantastic going on almost remind me of Incoherence or no Coherence, where they're like, what does it all mean? Like, why is people dying in the order that they died in the game? And you're like, oh, maybe there's like, it's
Yes,
like, no,
I love that in this movie.
You guys are all being crazy. This is real life. This doesn't happen. Like, it's really funny when movies do that, where they're like, in the movie, because you're willing to suspend your disbelief, right? Like, oh, there's magic, or this is a curse, or body's body summoned a demon, right? Like,
well, Alice in this movie, she was even saying, she's like, each person is dying exactly how they died in the game, and they're like, no, that's a bit of a stretch. I just like how she was like,
it's like, and B killed, he killed Greg after David was dead. Anyway, I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
The one thing I totally forgot though, do we ever see Max before the beginning of the movie? Okay, because I kept referring to Max, and I was like, who the freak is Max? And then he shows up at the end, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's Max. But I was like, Did I see it? Did I miss him in the
Oh,
beginning of the movie?
I just processed that right now that that's the
Yeah.
friend. I thought it was the dad. I was like, that
Yes.
is not the reaction I would expect from the dad.
Yeah. See, he gets there. His friend is dead. He doesn't even seem nonplussed. Like he's like, "What happened?" Like,
Well, because
not
they
even
were
like
fighting the
scared.
night before. I mean, and remember he was mad at him, she said, because he confessed his love to another girl. And
Right. No, and I understand like why, but again, if he was
Circle of
dead, I would
whores,
still be
man.
like, "Holy crap, my ex-friend is dead." Like,
yeah.
what happened? He was just like, "What happened?" Like almost like you could tell me or not, I don't really care. It just surprised me as whole. I'm like, and then oh, we got signals back. I guess we're not gonna bother to tell you. Or I don't know what the ending means. Is it just like dumb girls being like, "Eh, we got Wi-Fi back, so I don't care?" Like I don't necessarily know the ending of the movie. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, it's probably from being in like so much shock, and then something good finally happened, and to that, to
dopamine
kids,
hit it, they're like, "Oh my
no,
gosh,
well, like
Wi-Fi's back, we're saved."
I've shared this before, but especially the younger kids of this generation, like Cassie's kids, like seriously, when their Wi-Fi was down, they just started crying. They're like, I can't do this, and I can't watch my shows, and I can't play these games.
Cass,
Like,
you're a great parent. We love you and
no,
your kids so much.
but it's just it's seriously like amazing, like how
I
much they
I
depend on internet.
I beat my dog when my Wi-Fi went out, so don't worry, Cass, you're great.
No, but
There's nothing to do. I just resorted to physical violence. That's why everyone in the 50s beat their wives and kids because
oh
they didn't
my
have Wi-Fi,
gosh.
dude. We're just waiting for the innovation of tech to catch up. They're like,
Clarify, we
well,
need to
I could
justify what
sit
happened
here
in
and
the
kill
50s
myself, or I could beat my wife again.
abuse.
Sorry, that was dark. But this is a dark movie, so we got to talk about dark jokes. Cameron, what are your two favorite things from this movie, man? You finished up your thought?
Yeah.
Okay, Jordan, what about you? Two of your favorite things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cameron
You two are silencing me.
Cameron
You're always triggering me.
touched on it, was definitely the lighting. I just, because it's A24, they're gonna make it look really great. And I just love, especially when films are shot at night, I just love when it's done really well, especially in like, I mean, right now I'm thinking of The Conjuring, but the just this everything. I just like how they were just using flashlights. What was that movie?
Coherence did it.
Coherence.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
had the scene
To-
where they're shining lights on each other and they back away. I thought that was a great scene.
yeah, but
It
I'm
comes
thinking
at
of
night. Also, it reminds me of It Comes at Night as well. It does a really good
Oh,
job with light.
yeah, or Nightcrawler was a really good one. I love the city lights
Yeah.
and
I
stuff.
love how just clever they were with finding ways to like create light and not just being like, oh, it's actually not pitch black. It's like, oh, it's pitch black, but we have this. Oh, this light is blinking red because like the generator went out. Stuff like that, where it's like
Mhm.
being clever to find ways to like
Right,
illuminate.
and it reminds me of like all those late night games, like you know, you ever play
Yeah,
like Ghost in the Graveyard,
Oh yeah,
Murderer, Mafia,
yeah.
all those
absolutely.
games you play at night or like in a basement somewhere with a group of friends.
Oh, for
Bodies,
sure.
Body, Body
And
basically was
you're
cops and
more
or not
scared
cops
than
and
you
robbers, but
should be. You're like, why am I actually kind of afraid when I'm just like, it's just a house and dark.
Yeah.
yeah. And again, it's like I'm actually kind of here with strangers that may not all be my friends, like
Mm-hmm.
all of them kind of have a motive and a reason to hate one another. There's a lot of angst and anger toward one another,
Can I just
so
say I hate B's character and I wish she died?
I don't dislike B
I
that
think
much.
she's so annoying, bro. I wish she would have got shot.
You're talking about I thought she was the protagonist, but is it
She is the
Sophie?
protagonist. She
She the one
definitely
that
is.
left the light on in the car?
No, I know who B is. I'm saying I
Yeah.
thought she was the
Yeah,
protagonist,
she
but
is
Cameron,
Jordan.
you don't like her. So like, who are you rooting for? Greg and David then?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
literally only voting for them. I kind of like
Well, you guys just exposed your hand as
No, I
chauvinist
kind of
pigs,
like
you
Alice.
sexists.
yeah,
I liked
Alice.
Alice.
Alice at moments
Alice.
like
She was
kind of
really
funny,
funny.
but there was
You
also
shot me in the leg.
yeah, did you just effing shoot me?
That
But
was great.
also
Oh, you're pressing on my wound. Stop it.
there was
Oh,
too many
buddy.
moments where I was just like, oh, please just close your mouth for like 30 seconds. All of them just speak they don't even speak words, bro. They just like say fluff. They just speak to make noise. I'm like, oh my gosh. Stop speaking.
It's like that Family Guy bit where all the ladies on The View, they're all like just a bunch of chickens, like, "Buck, buck, 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 buck," and then like one lays an egg, and they're all looking at the egg. "Buck, buck, buck, buck." Yeah, it's so funny you say that, Cameron, because to me, that's actually one of the things I liked about it is, yeah, I liked it how there was just all these irrational things that we're saying, but it felt really unscripted in a way where it felt like hyper real. Because I think a lot of times it's like, oh, you got to make sure they say it's like they're just touting nonsense at each other. You're right, fluff, but like that's how chaotic it probably would feel in a situation. So I think they did a really good job making it seem real.
People are bringing up the most random things, like why is your podcast relevant when people are being murdered? It's like you hate listen to my podcast,
dude.
Someone you just got shot.
Here's my hot take. That is women, dude. Like they'll bring up something you did in the past, or they'll never let something go, dude. Like. You're like, wait, where are you pulling this from? Like, can't we deal with the issue here? It's like, no, one time you made me feel this way, and it's like, wait, how is that relevant to what's going on here? It's women are great. Hey, we love all women on the Future Hidden Movie Gems podcast, but y'all are pretty crazy. Not gonna lie.
Oh no, here we
just
go.
Generalized statement. Women are crazy. I thought it was great. I actually really
that's coming from just Ty.
Yeah, it's just coming from me. I love you, crazy women. You're amazing.
I'm sorry, but Jordan also was just unhinged with the gun. Like
Jordan in the movie,
she's just like, I don't know. I'm sorry, and I'm like, put the gun down. I'm like, I'll start listening to you and think that you're not the killer the moment that gun isn't pointed at my head or my chest.
Jordan has a gun. She's like, no, I don't. Turn out your pockets. Nothing there. Where did she hide the gun again? It showed up again. I don't remember.
I don't know. It was like on the couch or something, or in a bag. I don't know.
I think she hid it in the couch or something.
Yeah. But why would she think to hide it then? Like, why would you carry it?
Either.
See, and again, that was a good like twist for like, oh, like B's lying to them. It's like, how'd you get back in the house? Went in through the dog door and everything. Which I
really wish they would have done something with the dog, bro. I felt like the dog was an amazing like jump scare opportunity, because I would have pooped my pants, bro, if she was just like coming through there and it was just like.
Oh, you're thinking of, is that the Don't Breathe or whatever? What's the scary dog I'm thinking of a movie?
And Don't Breathe, yeah.
Don't Breathe, that was a scary one. But is there another one? What's another
that
dog?
Rottweiler that has the determination.
M3gan, the M3gan dog. It literally was like two or three of the jump scares in the scary doll movie. You're like, eh.
Apparently, Ty, that was supposed to be rated R. That's why it felt like it lacked.
They pulled some punches,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, well, we got to make it safer so more people go see it. But it's like, in doing so, you're making your movie kind of.
Hopefully, they release an unrated version, because I heard they shot it like originally that way.
Release the Schneider cut.
Yeah, release
Schneider cut. I said Schneider. Release the Snyder cut. Is it Snyder or is it Schneider? Because I always say
Snyder.
Snyder.
It's SNYD.
Right, but why am I adding this? I'm trying to make it like a German name. Schneider.
You're high.
Schneider. Yeah, why do I say that? That's funny. I say
you're doped up, Ty.
I'm just doped up. Hey, why don't you be a normal person to do cocaine? But you were kicking and screaming when we tried to take away your drugs. Dude, yelling at someone with a gun, not a good idea. What is your problem, Alice? Like,
why were they? Yeah, Alice is just like digging into her and like unloading like years of emotional baggage on her. And she's holding a gun towards her. I'm like, maybe this isn't the therapy session. Maybe we should wait 5 minutes. Till
maybe we should air all of our grievances while someone is waving a loaded pistol in our faces.
You know what? Actually, no one likes you. I'm like, maybe not the thing to say right now.
Dude, if the person with the gun, like, I would be their friend. I would say whatever they wanted me to say. Like,
oh yeah.
But like, just to insult them, to walk up to her, ow, stop it! You're attacking me. You're so. You touched my wound. It's so funny. Of course, she got shot in that whole scuffle. They're all four girls fighting for the gun. Oh my gosh, it was nuts. I knew someone was going to get shot.
Also, how was B just like turned into an FBI agent trying to like disarm her? I was like, what is going on? She's like trying to hit her arm and like pinning it against the wall and everything.
I think that's pretty much what anyone would try to do. If you're in close quarters and someone has a gun, you just know as long as it's pointed away from you, you're safe. But if she gets away from you and pulls the gun back, yeah, dude, you're dead. So.
I just thought it was funny how her like, just the scene of her shooting with her like body mangled on the ground. Just
I also think it's surprising when you said B, Cameron. I thought it was interesting because like I almost think that I get why they had maybe B kill Greg, but I almost thought like that was out of character. I would expect Jordan to have killed her or hit her with the weight.
Yeah,
just
I mean,
because, I get that
like, she was way more unhinged. Yeah, why? And B was just like, it was.
And Jordan's the type, but she did.
And Jordan and B said it was to protect you, Sophie. And I was like,
I think she was just bloodthirsty and hungry.
Maybe B does want
crazy.
Yeah, it's that Russian in her. I love how all of them were just making immediate assumptions, like Moscow. She's like, I went.
Like,
Like, where'd you go to college? You from Moscow? I was like, I went to college here. And it's like,
And I went out because my mom has what is it, stage 4? What does her mom have? She's
Oh.
terminal.
Oh yeah, and then I love when Alice is like,
Like,
I
hey,
have
that's a
body
real-
dysmorphia.
I totally understand.
It's a real
thing. I have body dysmorphia. Yeah, that's great.
Shut up.
yeah,
Shut up,
I
Alice.
love how she turned it to herself. She's like, oh, I like your mom has. I have something like that too. I was like, wow.
So
Glad
funny.
everything revolves around you, Alice, dude. That's why she was really fun. I
That's
love.
so funny. Yeah. So okay, if you guys couldn't say Greg, or I was just gonna ask, so you guys were rooting for Alice in the end. I guess who was your favorite? Because I got the sense like B reminds me so much of Hereditary guy. What's his name? Mole. She reminds me so
Really?
much of. She reminds me of Hereditary kid. She looks like him, acts like him. She's got the mole. Every kid these days looks like Maria Bakalova. Bakalova. I thought they did. Anyway, it made me think
I didn't even
of-
process that she had an accent until like a third into the movie. I was like, oh wait, she definitely not American. Like when they were all like, "Are you from Russia?" I was like, wait, what? And then I listened to how she talked, and I was like, oh, she kind of does have an accent.
Cameron didn't even catch it when she said comrade. Show me your papers. Yeah, I like it. Again, the mystery around
Mysterious.
I was gonna say the mystery, but I said the mysterious, and then mystery and mysterious, they're pronounced differently. Anyway, the who done it aspect of it, or it's like who's capable of doing this. Like I said, Jordan was the only one I thought was capable of murder.
Yeah.
And has the gun, you know. I'm like, why
Well,
does she
I mean,
have
at
the
first we
gun?
thought the military guy, but it turns out he's not military.
I'm not gonna lie, I knew it wasn't Greg like the whole time. I don't
Oh.
know why. That
Oh, well,
sounds
yeah,
weird.
because Dwight says, remember, he's like, it's never who you most suspect. It's not who
Not
you
the
least
most
suspect.
suspect,
It's who you medium
which is why
suspect.
this one's clever, because like I said, spoiler alert, this crazy evening starts because David is trying to do an impressive move that Greg did with the machete and a wine bottle. So he takes a champagne bottle and he cuts the cork off, and it
Well, no,
pops
but
fizzy,
he
the
cuts.
bubble everywhere.
Yeah. But then he
I
cuts
know.
towards
And then
himself.
so Pete Davidson's character takes this machete and he's like filming himself doing it because he's like trying to put it on his Instagram or whatever. He's gonna film himself cutting the bottle cork off,
TikTok,
and
yeah.
instead he slices the bottle and it goes right up to his neck, and he slices his own throat.
I've
and
cut
kills
towards
himself.
myself when I was younger. And then I slipped my hand.
In
And I was,
such spectacular fashion. So David kills himself with his own parents' machete, and it sets off the whole night where everyone's suspecting each other. They go confront Greg. B kills Greg in what she believes is self-defense. Then
Unnecessarily.
Emma falls down the stairs
Unnecessarily.
because she has taken drugs
Justice
that
for
Sophie
Greg.
gave to her. What's that?
So justice for Greg.
Justice for Greg. I know, right? He was a guy. Everyone put the knives down.
He just does not.
He gave his
he-
life helping animals.
He needs to read the room. He needs to read the room a little bit better, though. He's like, oh,
I don't know. He handled it pretty well. David literally slugged him in the face, and then he shrugged it off as part of the
No,
game.
I'm saying with
And then he was like, "I'm going to put myself."
the
well, he thought
werewolf part.
he thought they were pulling a prank on him. So he was like,
I
all right,
know.
I'll just play along.
Still,
Because
though.
you can't imagine like somebody coming at you with a real knife is actually going to start stabbing you. Like, just like-
I would. No, I think he handled it perfectly fine because those girls were circling in on him. He was
Yeah.
like, he's like, what's going on? Because he's like, literally was just sleeping minutes before this, and they wake him up being like, you just killed someone. He's like, oh, like this is part of the game. Because at first he's like, dude, to be woken up in the middle of the night and sleep to be accused of murder, like what? Like I've had times where I'm trying to think, like my wife will be angry about dreams that she's had of me that aren't even real. And it's like, wait, how could you possibly? That's not fair. You had a dream where I was an idiot. Well, guess what? It's a dream. It's not real. You can't be mad at me for something I didn't do. Doesn't matter. It seems real at the time, right? It's like Inception. You don't know you're dreaming until you wake up. Greg wakes up and they're all surrounding him with knives, closing in on him. And he's like, wait, what is going on? And then he's like, oh, you're happy with me. This is just a game, right? Like he's trying to give him an out because all they had to do was like, we got you, Greg. And then they attack him. They attacked him first. That's all I'm
Poor
saying.
Greg.
Poor Greg, dude.
R.I.P.
Got justice for Greg, dude. Sad, tragic character. So, and then Emma falls down the stairs. Alice gets shot when Jordan's waving a gun around, and
Glad
then
Anna died.
Jordan
Anna
gets
was the
thrown off
worst
the
as well.
banister, and then Sophie and B are the last ones remaining,
And
and Max shows up.
I
And sees
agree,
the
they
car.
could have had an amazing death at the end. They
I
should have
think that
drowned each
Sophie and
other.
B should
Yeah.
have tried to drown each other in the
And then
pool.
I
That's
think
what
the
thought.
friend that showed up should have shot her. Be like, oh, what the fudge? It would have been a perfect ending. It'd been great.
Wait, what? Max comes in, he doesn't know who B is, and shoots her. Like,
Well, because he sees a dead body sitting there, and she's like standing there over his dead body.
Jordan's thinking of The Departed. He just wanted Mark Wahlberg to show up in his little booties, pull out his
Yes.
pistol, and just shoot her silently. dude.
Yes.
And B would have been like, okay, look. Get shot right in the head.
Okay.
Okay. Oh gosh, that's so
Do
funny.
you guys recommend this? I'm kind of curious as to like
Yeah, I recommend this movie.
to select
It's
people, but
I find it
Yeah.
entertaining and it's clever, and I'm sure it says something about Gen Z, but I don't know what that is. Except they're awful and miserable, and I totally agree with that message. So they're the worst, the salt of the earth.
I think I would want, if I were to recommend it, I would definitely want that to like help them with their expectations, because I like, and just be like, okay, like a lot of the like there's not really going to be any redeemable characters. I was like trying to
That's
find
funny.
somebody to root for, and I was just like halfway through, I'm like, I want everyone to die.
Hey,
Yeah.
you're supposed to care for B though, because she left school to care for her sick mother. You know,
I don't care. I hope she died, bro.
I did hope she died too.
Because she
That's
was
so
just
crazy.
weird.
You guys
She
say
just-
that because
well, some dude's trying to defend himself because everyone's coming at him with knives, and then she's like, "Oh, let me just murder him, hit him all across the head."
I
And
know.
when she finished him off, like hitting him once, I was like, "Okay, like
In
like-
self-defense, I guess.
yeah," or just like a heat of the moment.
I like how they did
oh.
a good job at also
then she was
selling
like-
this movie in modern day, but also like getting rid of like, okay, there's a hurricane going on, so no Wi-Fi, no cellular, and then also like the car battery dying because of something like looking very
Yeah.
believable. Like
Yeah.
leaving the light on the freaking car is the most annoying thing, and it killed the car. And the only other car Max had, they're stuck there, and so it was well done. I thought it was great. So they did a really good job at explaining all the normal things where you'd be like, why did they just do
Yeah.
this?
The
A lot
only
of that
thing
was
though,
explained.
how are you in like $1 million mansion and there's no cars? Sorry.
There's no cars. Well, the parents are out of town.
You're telling me the parents have one car?
Yeah, one car. No, both of okay.
They're
good,
minimalists.
I got it. They're having marital problems, so they both drove separately, and they took both of the nice cars, and then the one remaining car that they showed. Well,
Was at the
because
shop.
this is Pete
Yeah.
Davidson. He's got black eyes in this movie. I guarantee he probably because I know Max
Drove it
punched
off a
him, but, like,
cliff.
yeah, he probably had drug problems and can't drive. He's
Sold
probably
it
under probation or something.
For more
yeah.
drugs.
Exactly. Dude, Pete Davidson doesn't look like he looks like he does a lot of drugs.
He looks like a druggie.
He looks like a druggie, dude.
All right, what have you guys seen lately, and what are you looking forward to?
We're watching Chosen season 3, and I watched
So good.
So good.
I watched White Chicks because Cameron was talking about it, made me laugh, and I watched that movie again. I think it's the second funniest bathroom scene since Dumb and Dumber. I really do. Like when he's in the bathroom because he eat dairy, it's the funniest over the top thing. But anyway, that's so funny. And then somebody threw shampoo back in the ocean. Wow! She was great. She's so funny. She was in Limitless, but I can't remember what else she's been in.
She's in the
Great.
Limitless series. She's also in It's My Baby.
Yeah, the
And
Drag Across Concrete.
Drag Across
Exactly.
Concrete.
The bank teller. She's great. So yeah, that White Chicks, dude, so irreverent, so funny. What about you, Cameron? What do you watch?
Yeah, I watched White Chicks for the first time. Somehow I just never seen it like from start to finish.
Oh man,
It's like
so
Miss
good.
Congeniality done 2 times better. I said it's Miss Congeniality done by black people, which in other words better. And it is so dang funny, dude. Oh, I cried at 2 scenes. I cried in the dressing scene when he comes out looking like a monster, and then the button pops.
Straighten out.
And then the
The
scene
leather.
also with Terry Crews just be like, the deception.
Deception.
Like, please, let me get this away from me. I was just like, what is it? I was like, this movie could not be made today.
Oh my word,
Terry is
absolutely
so
not, dude.
funny.
Dude, they were really hamming it up at the beginning, singing the Macarena and everything Mexican, pretending to be 2 shop owners or whatever. It was so
yeah,
funny,
that was
dude.
so funny. And then I watched Triangle per Jordan's request. Wow, crazy.
It's like Coherence, yeah.
It's like Coherence except 3 times darker. It's like if Coherence was directed by Rick himself from Rick and Morty.
Oh, I'm interested now. Triangle. I keep
yeah.
hearing it on the podcast. I'm finally gonna watch it now. You've recommended it enough times. So
Yeah, it's
past
crazy.
the threshold, I'll have to see it.
I watched Spiderhead just because it'd been on my watch list like for a while, and it's something I was really interested in. It has Miles Teller, Chris Hemsworth. Man,
Good.
was such a good idea, just so much wasted potential. It was sort of enjoyable. It's like a really clever idea. I'll kind of spoil it so you guys don't like really have to watch it. It's essentially Chris Hemsworth is this super rich guy who it looks like he's running this like experimental part of the prisons, trying to figure out a drug like that can make you really happy and all this. And then like halfway through you figure out essentially like because he keeps being like, oh, let me go talk to like the board and like the chief officers, and every time he does that he just goes to get coffee and he comes back, he's like, sorry, they said you have to do this or whatever, and you're kind of like, wait, what? And then you become suspicious and you find out later that it's his company and he's running it, and he's not actually trying to create drugs that like make you feel happy or whatever. He's trying to create a drug that will make you do whatever you're told to do, and the only thing that like that they have left to prove is that if you would do something that you would absolutely like your innermost desires wouldn't, like kill a loved one. So he tries to get like Miles Teller like torture a girl he loves. It's insane. But it's just done like amazing. I mean, probably has a huge budget, but like it just wasn't done very well, and it ended kind of just like, I don't know. I was just really bummed. I just felt like it's such a clever concept. I'm like, oh, I love this. It's kind of like it's because I wish they just would have gone more the psychological thriller, because it kind of had the Shutter Island like esque feel of like maybe not everything's being done here that's like by the book, but then they kind of just like
Right.
leaned too far into it and explained too much and tried to make it more into like an actions like third act, and I was just like not a fan.
For sure.
I watched The Upside, which is like the American remake of, I think it's called like The Untouchables or whatever.
Yeah, it's the French version with Kevin Hart and Bryan Cranston. He helps him in a wheelchair or whatever.
Yeah, super fun. Really uplifting as well. I thought it was like a really like it's super fun, just entertainment movie. Gave it 7 out of 10. Pretty enjoyable. Oh, and I gave Triangle 8, White Chicks 9, Spiderhead 6. And then I showed Grant Memoir of a Murderer. He loved it so much. It's so freaking good.
Yeah, Ty,
Um,
you gonna watch that?
you gotta
Dude,
check
it's on. I know. I gotta watch it.
it's
Hard to
like
stay awake
it's like
these days. Not
it's
getting
like
enough sleep.
Memento meets I
Memories
would
of
say
Murder.
Memories of Murder, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Dexter.
Wait, oh, Memories of Murder. Yeah, so you're
Yeah.
talking about the
And
Bone
then I
Control
watched-
one, right?
No,
watched-
but he's just saying it's like Memories of Murder, Memoir
Yeah.
of a Murder.
I know. See, I keep getting confused, but that's nothing. They're not
Yeah.
all related, right?
No, it's
I'm
Memoir
okay.
of a Murderer, Jordan, and then Memories
Yeah.
of a Murder.
Memories.
And then
of murder.
for my film class I watched this like short film, like a Caught on Safari, Battle at Kruger, and then also Sherlock Jr. Both are pretty fun. And then rewatched the Harry Potter, the first one, with my wife, where we're watching them all because she hasn't seen 7 Part 2. What? So
How do you get through all of them without watching part 2?
I
Like
know.
the
She's
finale.
like, well, I know
It's like, did they ever take
that
a?
happens.
What did
like-
they ever do with that Voldemort character?
I know. I'm just like, are you kidding me? That's like the culmination. It's like going through all of the Marvel movies and not watching Endgame. I'm just like, you gotta at least like see that all your slavery is paid off of just watching freaking dumb movies yeah. But
All right, Ty, we gotta wrap it up.
All right, Jordan, do you want to throw out anything you've seen?
I watched The
Is
Last Exorcism. The first half was great. Last half was amazing. It has the guy from Better Call Saul. I'm trying not to
Bob
spoil
Odenkirk?
it. The no,
Kirk? Oh.
no, the guy that I'm trying not to spoil what happens to him in the end of Better Call Saul, but
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah,
yeah, you know who I'm talking about, the guy that they're pulling pranks on, throwing bowling balls over in his car.
yeah.
Anyways, he's really
Howard
great in it.
Hamlin's character. Yeah.
Yeah, Howard Hamlin. So the first half, yeah, and then the middle is just kind of the cliche Exorcist stuff, which I think is so boring. But the first half is like really good character development and stuff, and then the last half is this crazy twist. And I'm like, oh crap.
Has anyone here seen Last of Us on HBO? Just want to know. 'cause I've heard
no,
yeah,
great
it's on my
things about
watch
it.
list. It's got
Yeah,
crazy good ratings.
Yeah,
But I don't know like how well it's going to stack up to the video game. But I'm curious to watch it because I know with a lot of people like they're like, oh, it broke the video game curse. They keep talking about. I'm like, Well, it's because you had a long video game and they finally made a series where you could finally tell the story. Because the problem
Yeah.
was we take a whole video game that's like takes 10 hours to play and you squish it down to an hour and 30-minute movie. It just doesn't work. So now it's a long drawn out story. So of course it will work. At least I'm hopeful it will. So everybody's been Futro Hidden Movie Gems. Leave us an email, futuremovies@gmail.com. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook. Do we still have those? I know we have a YouTube. Check us out. All of our episodes are there. This has been
We
Futro
try.
Hidden Movie Gems signing out. Peace.
Peace.
Bye.
Let's play bodies, bodies, bodies.